everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. Head shave today. I'll possibly do a face shave later on, I'll see how I go. I had such a good shave yesterday. I'm still pretty good. It's not, there's hair there, but whether I'll shave it or not today, I don't know. But I'm definitely going to knock this down. I've got about 3 or 4 days growth, I think 3 days. And just here we go. Freezing cold here today again. By freezing cold, like 10-15 degrees. I'm going to use Phoenix and Beau Sanskrit, which is a very warm scented soap. When I take a real deep inhale, I really get that cardamom, and I love cardamom. I love Indian spices and things like that, so this smells great to me. Can't smell any black pepper or sandalwood. Sandalwood I'm not too bothered about, I do love black pepper. But yeah, it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. It's quite a rich, warming sort of scent, along the lines of like a cinnamon or a clove, that sort of thing, but obviously it's cardamom in this instance. Yeah. Smells great, looks good, similar sort of styling as what you get with OSP soaps. And that's the label there. Excellent, excellent performing soap, so I'm looking forward to this. Brushguy brush today with the 26mm Boss Note. I think it's 26mm, it looks like 26mm if I'm honest. It looks a bit bigger, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It could be a 24mm which has been set with a wider opening to make it look bigger. So straight onto the dry soap. Now this is the first time that I've actually seen brand new Phoenix and Beau soap. The other 3 that I've got were, I either bought them or they were part of a trade. I think they were part of a trade. So I'd never seen it with the imprint on it before. But there's no imprint on the Denali, and I can only imagine that's because of the high menthol content. It's a very soft soap, it's almost croapish. Tell you right now, this is really opening up the scent. The scent strength out the tub when it's dry around about maybe a 3.5. It's not a strong scent at all. I can tell you right now it's up around about a 5 or a 6 in terms of scent strength. It's really opened it up now that I've added a bit of water and lowered the brush a bit. So I'm going to get quite a thick load on the brush today. Nice pasty load. And then I'm going to bowl lather, and then we're going to whip all these whiskers off the top of my noggin. So there we go, that should be absolutely loads. Still see the label there, which is good. I'm glad the label hasn't disappeared after one use. Got water in my Saponificio Varacino shaving grail bowl, and we'll just add the brush like so, and then we'll just keep whipping and adding water until we get the consistency I'm looking for. The great thing I find with Phoenix and Beau is it doesn't matter whether your lather's a little bit dry or it's too wet or it's perfect, there's always good slickness, which for me, especially on a head shave, is pretty much vital. Not so much so for my face shaves, because I don't chase BBS shaves very often. I've done it a few times where I've went as close as I can without hurting myself. But this stuff just offers great protection all round. Great slickness, great cushion. It's an excellent, excellent soap. And all I'm doing right now, as you can see, the lather is building, as you can see on there. But every now and then it stops growing, and it just sort of stays the same consistency. Doesn't get any bigger in the bowl, it just stays the same, and all you're doing is whipping up the same stuff over and over again, which is great because you do knock out all those little bubbles. But I'm looking for a little bit more volume in the lather for a head shave. As you can see, it's starting to get little peaks on there now. Oh, it smells great. This isn't a scent for everyone. I mean, once again, I know every scent isn't a scent for everyone, but these ones in particular, things like this are geared towards people that have got probably more of a gourmand nose, like myself. I prefer scents that smell like things you can eat. This certainly has got a really nice herby, it's just a lovely, lovely scent, for me anyway. And I do love the smell of cardamom. I have used it several times, in fact I still use it to this day for cooking. Not as much as I'd like to, but right, I think I'm pretty much where I want to be with this. I'm just going to give it another quick few whips, and as you can see here, the gloss on that's beautiful, and that is some thick stuff. Excellent. So that should be enough there for my most likely 3 passes. Let's wet the head. And then before we do anything else, I'm going to have a little drink of coffee. Ooh, still pretty hot. I'm on the black coffees at the moment. I'm enjoying them just now. Oh, better fix my brew. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'm really getting the scent. It's coming down off my head as I'm pushing the brush forward. It's actually whipping the scent over, and it smells great. Just dipping the tips a little bit. Very, very hard soap to overwater, I've found, which is great. It's a real good sign of a good soap if you find it difficult to break it. Dip of the tips again. It looks like it's just a little bit dry. As you can see, because it's so good, the soap, look at it building at the front of my head. I would say that's pretty spot on how I like it. Okay, Gillette Fat Boy. First time ever using one. I've never used it on a face shave. This will be my first time ever using it. It's in excellent condition. There's a little bit of brassing just on that door there. As you can see, it's sort of coppery looking. But the rest of it, given its age, is absolutely tremendous. Now this was found for me by Troy Hove over in the States. He sort of had a good look around, managed to find this one, got it for a great price. A little bit, just a small amount of brassing in there. But if I enjoy the razor, I'll probably get it recoated in rhodium or something like that. Now, excellent, excellent razor. Really well built. It's got a good bit of heft to it. Short handle, which I prefer. I do prefer a shorter handle. Now, I'm going to stick it just on number 5, my lucky number. I'm going to leave it there for the beginning of this shave just to see how it feels. After a few strokes I might up it, after a few strokes I might drop it, we'll just see how we go. But as you can see, it locks in good. The blade gap appears to be very even from what I can see. And let's see how she shaves. I've given it a bit of a clean, and I've also sanitised it as well. And let's just see how it feels. Oh, I forgot to mention, I've got a brand new Gillette green, 7 o'clock green in there. Well, straight away, it feels very smooth, but I will say that one side, so far, feels smoother than the other, which is a bit odd. This side I'm on now feels just ever so slightly less smooth. Not to the point it's affecting the shape, but I can feel the difference. So the side here is a little bit rougher. I'm just going to flip it over in a second. Now, as with all vintage Gillettes, there's a lot of overhang on the sides, so if you're a head shaver like me, you've got to be very careful when you're going down the sides of your ears. It's definitely got a very different angle to anything I've got in my den at the moment. It'll be interesting to find if the Black Beauty is the same. It seems to have more of a horizontal angle on my actual skin than what I do find with most of the other ones. You probably can't see it with this angle because being so right-handed, it covers the bloody view. But it feels pretty nice, it feels pretty efficient. It's certainly not as smooth as any of the two gem razors that I've got. It's nowhere near it. Those two gem razors have absolutely blown me away since I started using them. They're just incredibly efficient, smooth. And just for what they are, they don't look like much, but they're incredible little razors. And don't get me wrong, the blade makes a big difference. The blade's very, very smooth. And from what I've recently read, they're actually industrial blades. They're not built for safety razors, so they're not actually treated as such. So you have to, well, from what I've read, it's actually best that you sanitize them before you use them. Even with an alcohol rub or something like that. Me personally, I couldn't give a shit. You got to die of something. Right, how's it feeling? It seems to have knocked it down a bit. It doesn't feel like it's knocked it down quite as much as I would have liked. But like I say, it's on setting 5. It might be better on setting 9 for my head. I do like an aggressive shave or an efficient shave on my head, but this is all just trial and error for me. Yeah, from that feel there, there's a lot of hair left on my head. A lot. So I'm just going to keep it on setting 5. I've just wet my head again. I'm just going to go back to the bowl and just sort of reinvigorate the lather that's in here. The scent on this is lovely. Really warming scent. It really is beautiful. Not something I would ever have thought to try for a shaving soap. But I'm glad I've got guys out there with good scent minds for creating things like this. Right, against the grain, setting 5. I'll just leave it there and see what it feels like. It feels pretty good, but it's not getting quite as close. Like I'm still feeling the odd little hairs when I'm touching it, even with the gem. After that first few strokes against the grain, I knew it was BBS, but it's getting there now. And it's a new angle. This is a different angle to other DE razors that I've used, definitely. Just gonna just taking the blade a little bit there. It was sticking out one side a bit more than the other. I don't think it essentially would affect the shave, but we'll just move it anyway. Now this is where we'll find how good the razor is against the grain. Now, taking the razor out of the equation, the slickness on the soap is incredible. Yeah, really, really good. Right, now I don't know whether you guys can hear that, but I certainly can feel it and I can hear it. The skipping, the razor skipping across my head, it's sort of bouncing up the side of my head as I'm pulling it against the grain. But it's pretty smooth, it feels pretty good. It's given how old this razor is, it's quite amazing. Now the soap of the lather, as you've seen there, was pretty much dissipated on the side of my head. There wasn't much there at all. But let me just assure you that even though there's not much there, the slickness is incredible. And it's not that it's not there, it's just that it takes me so long to get from this side of my head all the way around to this side. But unless the lather's ludicrously thick, it's not so much it's dissipating, it's just sat there for too long. Well, that's an excellent second pass. It's literally just a few little bits here and there that need tidying up. Go back into the bowl And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to scoop the rest of the lather out, which as you can see hasn't aerated. It's got a beautiful gloss to it, beautiful scent. I'll just get it whacked all over. I might as well reap the rewards of the good soap and the stuff that's in it. But carry over at Phoenix and Beau, I haven't actually really looked into it too much. I don't do a lot of reading, if I'm honest, in terms of products and people, how they make things. I just use them, and that's about it. I don't really read scent profiles ever. The only reason I read these ones is because it says it on the front of the box, so it's a bit difficult not to read it in the front of the tub. Right, all over against the grain, cross the grain, just doing everything, tidy the whole thing up, see how we go. I've got a few videos to watch today. The weather's been shit, so there's no windows to clean. I've tidied up the house, done all the washing, sorted all the dishwasher and everything out, vacuumed, cleaned, mopped. I might watch a couple of videos. I think there's one on there from, or a couple on there from Nara Shaves. There's one on there from Ken's Shaving and BSing, and I think there's another one from Ken Source. So I'm looking forward to them. Now, I don't know about you guys, I've sort of followed Ken's Shaving and BSing for quite a while now. Not from when he started, but not long after he started. I think I might have been in one of his sort of, in his top first 100 subscribers, I think. I could be totally wrong, but I think I might be. But I went back and watched, I think it was a shave with the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Bakelite, I think. And it brought up one of Ken's videos from back in 2016. And straight away I couldn't believe the difference in the guy. I know he's a bit bigger. He was a big guy when I first started watching him, and I didn't go back and watch all his previous videos to begin with. I've watched quite a few of them now. But he was huge. No shitting, absolutely huge. He was doing a lather and got out of breath. Just lathering his face. To watch him now, fit, healthy, happy, smiling, glowing sort of thing, it's quite a massive turnaround in lifestyle and a great feeling. No doubt I've been there myself. I myself was a pretty heavy guy. I was up about 103, I can't remember exactly what it was. I was 103 kilos anyway, which I don't know what that is in pounds for you Americans and guys in the UK. I now fluctuate from between 80 and 84, just depending. But yeah, it was just, it was amazing. I actually I messaged him. Obviously gave him a link to his own video, because it must be great to look back at things like that. It was something I've noticed with doing these shaving videos. Is that in sort of 5 years' time, if I'm still doing them, I'll be able to look back to now and see the difference in me from now and then, which I think is quite amazing. Right, I've lost a bit of slickness there. I don't know what's happened. So just touch a bit on with the brush, why not? And there we have it. Oh, just a little bit there. Beautiful shave. Took a little bit longer than anticipated. I thought I'd been done quite a bit sooner than that. Yeah, it feels absolutely great. Just give the brush a bit of a clean out. And my post shave today, I'm going to do the exact same as what I did with Wickham yesterday, and just use Phoenix and Beau's balm. Nothing else. No stick, no alum blobs, no thayers, no witch hazel of any sort. Nothing at all. I just want to soap and balm and just see what happens. See what the post shave is like later on in the day. Beautiful. In fact, I might just, a bit of a time waster anyway, why not? Can rinse the soap out. Oh, you put a bit of hot water on top of the soap and the scent just booms out there, or blooms out there, I suppose it would be, wouldn't it? Right, so all I'm going to finish off with is this little thingy, which is Phoenix and Beau Unscented Nourish, Moisturise and Protect Balm. Now the scent on it is actually quite nice. I think Kerry said that it was unrefined shea butter. From memory, I'm not 100% sure. Now it feels, when you actually run your finger on it, it's very firm and it's quite rough. Almost like it's got, as if it is a rough sort of feeling. Once you get it in your fingers though and it melts a little bit, it goes soft and smooth. Like it feels almost like a lip balm, that consistency. Now I put some of this on my face the same day that I got it, and I put far too much on, and it was like oil on your face. It just there for ages. So I'm assuming this has got to be used very, very sparingly, and this little tin will last a long time going by that sort of thing. Now it looks pretty empty, I've got to say, but I don't know how it's sort of measured. I would imagine there's actually more than 30 grams in here. I'm not 100% sure. It feels reasonably heavy. So all I'm going to do is just get my finger, just rub it all over the surface just to sort of soften it up a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely a bit different, so we'll try with that amount there, which is literally, looks like nothing. In fact, it sort of feels like nothing as well. I'm probably overloading this again. Just try to make sure I get sort of coverage everywhere. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of hair because I'm having to push really hard to get this balm to go everywhere. It's pulling all the bristle back when you pull the skin really tight. So in terms of the shave, this is nowhere near as close as I've got before. Yeah, I've got the balm. I'm not a fan of the balm. It's a bit of a pain in the arse, if I'm honest. It's really firm. You can't put too much on because it's almost waxy and greasy. I mean, it feels pretty good now it's on my head, but it's a pain in the arse to get on, if I'm brutally honest. I mean, you can see there, I think it's beeswax based. You can see by the water. You probably can. Water's just beading on my hands, it's not actually. Sort of washing off, if you know what I mean. It's not a cream that absorbs like the Wickham digestery. It feels like I've got a layer on my skin now. It feels like it's just a coating over this top of my skin. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm not a fan at the moment. Post-shave feel might be amazing and it'll change my mind, but right now at this point in time, I'd like to call it the label. But yeah, it's not. I don't know. We'll see how it feels. I'll give you a bit of an update on my next shave most likely. But yeah, the soap itself, which is sliding out of the tub now. Phoenix and Beau. Sanskrit. It's excellent performing soap, excellent scented soap. So it really is really good stuff. Very, very impressive. And I'm looking forward to my next shave with it. If I do a face shave today, I'll more likely use this again. But we'll see how we go. Thanks very much for tuning in, guys. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.